to our derm section, all right, system review over here. Um, Again, a couple of things for us to kind of talk about when we're trying to tackle this system, all right? Um, in terms of the basic material, you want to know the histo cross section, all right, for your skin layers, all right, where your basal layer is, corneum, all right, and all those different layers and what's happening in each of those layers, all right. It's also going to be helping you with a couple of the pathology concepts, all right. um, and then you want to know again your corpuscles, Pacinian corpuscles, and all the free nerve endings. What do they do? How do they present? Um, and what's going to be a specific finding when one of those guys are affected? Okay, um, you want to kind of go over that as well. So this is for the general topics. Okay. Um, Now when we're going into the pathology based one, um, you want to know a couple of your cancers, all right, how do they present, okay, um, and what are some risk factors associated with those conditions, all right, uh, whether it be cancers or not, okay. We want to know the risk factors, and that's very high yield in this section, okay. Some common correlations, okay, with other diseases and stuff like that from other systems. We want to be picking up on that too, along with some infections, all right. So when we're talking about it as a pathology slash micro kind of part, a lot of infections over here to deal with, okay, and we're going to be trying to tackle those guys as well, okay. um, and again, the best way to review this section is to kind of go at it by comparing both, all right, two very similar looking differentials and trying to write out a point or two that makes it different from one another, all right. And that's going to be helping you kind of to get the right answer. I know a lot of students struggle when they get, they're left with two options, and then one of them is the right answer, all right, but just because they just have like a little factoid missing here and there, they end up picking up the wrong answer, okay. So we don't want that happening, and the way to avoid that, all right, is by doing this kind of active learning, all right. We have two very similar differentials on our notebook or iPad, and then write one or two key features, all right, that kind of separates the two, all right, whether it be descriptors. Sometimes it can be a scan. Sometimes it can be a physical exam finding, all right, a treatment plan, or something like that, okay? We want to be picking up on those clues come exam day, all right? We just want to be reviewing that before a day or two before the exam, and it's going to be really getting us those points, all right, guys?